Welcome, everybody. It is Train Tuesday, and we've got Janek. Nope. One of these days, I'll remember it. Representing Conrail over there, and then myself representing some unknown railroad from the Midwest. Janek, how are you today?
I'm good, Jim. Yeah, like you were saying, we're backwards. I'm on the West Coast with an East Coast Railroad shirt, and you're on the East Coast with more of a not really a more of a Midwest, I guess.
Yeah, all points west type of thing, but
yeah.
Well, that's cool. It's funny. We were talking earlier. You've got a connection with Conrail, and it's kind of neat how we can come from different parts of the world, really. And I know there's folks over in England that model the BNSF. It's just kind of neat how people choose their prototype that they want to model. So pretty cool. So
it's all fair game, no matter where you are.
Yeah, exactly. So I know you've been really busy. You've been working a lot of hours and everything else. And one of the things that we wanted to cover real briefly this afternoon is questions of a rumor of an SD70 ACU. Well, the rumor is true. We are going to be offering an SD70 ACU, but we're going to hold off a little bit. I want you guys to tune in, and towards the end of the month, we're going to have some really cool news about this particular locomotive and what we're doing with it. So without further ado, we're going to get into what we're talking about for this month. And like I was saying earlier, this is pretty much, this is kind of like the trucks and trains episode. Let me bring that up here real quick. So everybody knows what we're talking about. Let's see. And Janek, you've got a lot of time into our next project. We're going to be talking about the 45-foot trailers. Let me bring that up so everybody can see what we're talking about.
Sure.
Whoops, that's not it. Let's go back up here. Here we go. So tell me a little bit about the prototype. I know these were used on trailer trains or TOFCs, but give us a little background on these, Janek.
So this 45-foot trailer is sort of an interesting in-between length trailer. If you're an intermodal modeler, you probably know that different trailer lengths became approved at different times in history. And I'm actually not familiar with all those specific years. I'm sure some of you guys know more than I do about it. But in the early days, the trailers were very short. I recollect that there were 35-foot trailers for a while. Then for a while, 40-foot was the standard for trailer length. And then after that was the 45. And then, 48s and 53s after that. So they just kept, gradually increasing the trailer sizes, which was a big headache for the railroads because then they had to increase their flat car sizes or find different ways of carrying them or more efficient ways. So anyway, the 45-foot trailer is a 1980s, 1990s era trailer. I don't know what kind of trailer the Athearn model is based off of. If anybody knows, let us know in the comments. But this one's been around in our line for a while. We got some really neat paint schemes on here with the Rio Grande and the Chicago Northwestern. I like the Falcon service. I don't know about you, Jim, but that's always been a cool logo they have.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Jim. I'm sorry, I'm getting a wicked echo. All right, we still got that? There we go.
Yeah, no, that's
you're absolutely right. With the railroads and the trucks, ever increasingly getting more into freight service starting in the 1930s, you're absolutely right. The earlier trailers were not that long, 25, 30 footers, and then they around the 60s into the 70s, they got into that 40 footer, which was still pretty manageable for most vehicles. And you got to remember too, I mean, the interstate really is what opened up the semi traffic. So before that, these semi trucks were going down rural routes and roads and such. So the trailers were kind of a product of their environment. But by the 1970s, boy, the interstate had just really become a big way of cutting into the railroad, and the railroads learned on rather early. I know Santa Fe, Chicago Northwestern, they were Rock Island even were big proponents of trailer on flat car service, and they could see the value in going. Railroads really excel at going from point A to point B in a timely manner, whereas the trucks had the advantage of getting from that unloading platform to the actual customer's door a little bit quicker than the switcher locomotive of times past.
Right.
The other thing too is railroads didn't really want to deal with one customer on a branch line that took a boxcar once every other week. They really want to deal with the big customers, So this was the beginning of that real switch over to the truck kind of taking place of the small branch line switcher, and the train being made up of a full TOFC. And you're right, the 45-foot trailer really came into being right after 1980 when they deregulated the traffic on highways and such. The lengths of the trucks weren't as strict as they had been in the past.
Right.
And these I remember a lot of these. In fact, let me go back here and we'll cover some of these. The Rio Grande, I didn't see any of those, but I can tell you when I first moved to Illinois back in 1995, these Chicago Northwestern Falcon service trailers were all over the Chicago area. You've also offered them in the Frederickson and the Penner, which are independent trucking lines. And then I'm sure, Janek, you've probably seen the Southern Pacific trailers out your way.
Yeah, definitely.
And then finally, the Florida East Coast. So this is a great trailer to have, not only for your TOFC trains, but if you're modeling late 70s, all the way into the early 90s, I mean, you can put this in with your warehouse scene or with your truck. I mean, there's so many different uses on this particular model.
Yeah. And the other thing about it is that the painting and printing on these is so much better than it was in the kit days, where you would sort of get those fuzzy edges and the logos were crooked. The edges weren't sharp. The printing has really come a long way since this was offered as a kit. And it really makes a difference on how they look going by.
Yeah, I can say that the printing on these is so much better. I mean, earlier like you said, we had these in kit form and they were nice. I mean, again, they were kind of a product of their environment at the time, but the printing on these is so much more, sharp and vivid. It's really convincing. A little bit of weathering, a little bit of work, and these things look great in the picture under layout. I think Tony Cook actually got me some pictures of some of these. We started sharing some of them on our Instagram account. Let me see if I can grab those here real quick. I'll get this.
You made a good point about the weathering on those trailers. More often than not, it seems like they had a layer of dirt over the whole thing. And then you have the exhaust soot, of course, up in the corners. And so the weathering goes a long way on those trailers.
Absolutely. I mean, that really is what makes it look that much better. I'm going to squeeze us out of here and zoom in on this. So here's the Rio Grande that we were showing earlier. Same deco. And there you go with the weathering. Perfect timing, Janek. This one, though, this is kind of neat because this is one of your older flat cars. That's just got the one 45-foot trailer on it.
Yeah, that's actually one of the flat cars that Norfolk Southern converted from box cars.
Oh, cool.
sea service. They were weird cars. Yeah. Definitely not a stranger to the West Coast either. You could definitely see them in intermodal trains out here.
No, that's a neat picture. Very cool. Now, once again, these pictures here that I'm showing you, these are from slides. These are from Tony Cook at White River Publications sent this to us, and these are from the collection of Kevin Udaly. So we want to thank those guys for showing us these prototype pictures. This one's cool. Now, this one, I can remember setups like this. That brings back some memories. You've got your TTX flat car, and you've got your Conrail, you've got your Falcon service. I mean, that's easily 1985 on forward, somewhere in there. That's a really cool picture.
Those trail vans, those were everywhere for a while, huh?
Yeah, they were. I mean, I remember seeing those everywhere. I mean, growing up on the East Coast, you saw them, but even coming out to Illinois in the 90s, I saw them all over suburbs of Chicago and even into East Central Illinois. Let's see what else we've got for.
Someone's asking. Okay.
Oh wow. Okay. Go ahead with your question, Janet.
Oh, Thomas Davey in the comments was asking how long is that flat car? It was an 89-foot flat car, as is the one in this photo.
Yeah, and here's that Southern Pacific, the Golden Pig service. And, I never got to see one of these in real life, but as a kid, I saw one of these somewhere, either in an ad or something. I don't know, but I just thought it was the coolest graphic. And, as a kid, that didn't make a lot of sense to me because I didn't know. But, of course, we now know that, TOFC crews would call these pig trains because of the piggybacking of the trailer on the flat car. And so Southern Pacific.
A really cool and interesting logo. The Illinois Central had the pig with the wheels on it, and just really cool different logos like the Golden Pig, the Falcon service, the Real Action Road. They all had a little moniker to go with their piggyback service.
Yeah, definitely. So, and guys, we do see your comments, and if we see something that sticks out, like here's one, Jeremy's got one. I want to show it because I want to see. He says, "Hey James, that isn't from the early '80s." Jeremy, let me know which picture I was referring to as the early '80s, and we can correct that. A lot of these trailers, though, I mean, they lasted for years. I mean, not far from me, I would have gotten a picture of it, but it wouldn't have been appropriate for this release. But I've got a 45-foot trailer with the pig on wheels, the old Illinois Central Gulf pig on wheels logo, and it's really cool. And you still see them from occasionally.
Yeah, I like those. Those are cool.
Nowadays, kind of used as a storage thing on somebody's farm, but we're getting some remarks. A lot of our folks were seeing these rail fanning, and I definitely remember seeing these going up to the Rochelle Diamond back in the day, back before that was an actual, railroad mecca, I guess you could say. So very cool. So, there's other things that you've been working on, and I know you do a lot of work with intermodal stuff, and you've been busy with these guys. I'm going to go ahead and bring these up next.
The containers?
Yeah, you were working on these 20-foot reefer containers.
Yes.
Let's see. Get the right screen up here for everybody to see, just because it's been a little bit since we've shared these.
Yeah, we went over these pretty quickly a couple weeks ago. We kind of breezed over them. And we'll just look at them a little bit closer now.
These are part of the ready to roll line. They're sold in there's 3 in a pack.
Yeah.
And a lot of these, I'd say most of these, weren't they, Janek? These were a lot of the lines that you guys, the fans, have asked for.
Yeah, well, I know specifically we got requests for the Tropical and for the Ocean Network Express containers. And the other ones that we've got here, like the CMA CGM, the Beacon, some of these are brand new. We've never offered them before. And tried to pick some more contemporary schemes with these. You know, a lot of the schemes that we've done on these containers are more of a late 1980s, 1990s era, like we've done in the past. But these are more contemporary, especially the Ocean Network Express. You know, the CMA CGM with that new logo. And these are found all over the place. You know, of course, living where I do. With the Port of Long Beach being a stone's throw away, I see a lot of these on the road. You know, just some variety for your intermodal train. These would be normally placed on the bottom position because they're heavy. And sometimes they'd have the reefer unit with the generator attached, or sometimes they would just be operating as the box without it. Which is how they come. I don't know if anyone makes that generator unit. That'd be a cool thing to add someday.
I was gonna say, yeah. How many times have we been rail fanning, and you know, you hear one of those running because
it sticks on the nose and it powers the container. So yeah, that'd be a cool thing to add someday.
Really cool. And I like the fact that we're offering lines that haven't been offered before. I mean, this is stuff. I mean, that's one of the advantages that you have. I'm not exactly near any large rail yards, or certainly any intermodal, where you're out there, you're in the thick of it. So you get to see this all the time. Doesn't necessarily make your research any easier, but definitely helps, I bet.
Yeah, well, we've all been guilty of trying to photograph something while we were driving. I'll just leave it at that.
I don't know what you're talking about. So not only did you work on these and we're offering these, I'm going to zoom out a little bit for our next page. And again, we just briefly went over these a couple of weeks ago, but this is really cool because now, as you said, last month we were offering the Yard Goat tractors. Now you've got the containers with the chassis.
Yeah, this is a one-stop, deal. If you bought some of the yard tractors or ordered some of the yard tractors, or maybe you already have some, and you're looking for a load that you can pull around, or I've even seen these riding on a spine car, where you have a container on a chassis on a spine car. I've seen that in trains before. Don't ask me why they do that. I'm sure there's a good reason for it, but that's another potential way to use this combination here.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, again, something that's needed for the modern modeler. And even if you don't have a layout that's all that big, let's say you have one of these smaller point-to-point switching layouts that we're seeing become more and more common now. You're still going to see these in service. I mean, whether it be a regular container or in this case a reefer container. I worked for a company years ago that they were a small hobby company, so when they got stuff in from overseas, it came in a 20-foot container. So if you've got a little industrial area with your layout, you more than likely would see these, and with the chassis, this just makes it all that much better. So yeah. Some really great stuff this month, and once again, stuff that hasn't been offered before. So
yeah, we've never a set like this before with a container and a chassis. And I did want to point out too that for the road names for the chassis, we picked generic ones that are commonly seen. The track leasing and the flexi van, those are leasing companies, and their chassis can be found underneath any sort of container. And same thing with the Hyundai. I've seen those, with anything but a Hyundai container. So don't worry about the container not matching the chassis. That's almost never the case in real life.
Yeah, they tend to just go wherever one needs the other. They part of necessity more than anything.
Yeah, they just say, oh, I need a 20-footer, I need a 40-footer, and just go pull it.
Exactly. Yeah. So, man, that's some great stuff. I mean, that and certainly something that's going to fit a lot of needs. I mean, these are something that are going to come in handy for anybody that's doing. I'd say when did these? I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. When did the 20-foot reefers like this come out? Are we talking mid 90s, newer than that?
This particular version started showing up in the late 1980s, early 1990s. This style of container. And yeah, pretty much still running around there today. Not a whole lot of changes. Different reefer units on the nose. We have a couple different ends that we put on there for the different styles, and I'm sure there's a couple out there that we don't have. But yeah, so pretty much a 90s and up.
No, that's really cool, and that of course, that is going to help out a lot of people. It's modeling, like you said, from the 80s all the way into present day. So that's a pretty good size timeline you got there, and
yeah,
really, really good stuff to offer. So
there's one more thing too that we almost forgot on those 20-foot reefers, Jim. They're coming to scale too this time.
N scale, what's that? I'm not familiar with N scale. This must be sorcery you're talking about.
Yeah, well,
yeah, no, you're right. It's coming in N scale, so I guess I'm going to have to figure out a way to put that on the layout that I'm working on. So, and of course, whenever we release something like this, it's common for folks to ask. I see some comments out there right now, and we thank you for those comments. Alex is saying, "Hey, we need more Mac R models, please." You know what? I couldn't agree more. We're always working on stuff. There's stuff going on in the background. Like we jokingly say in the past, we haven't seen Matt. We let Matt out once a month, maybe, but other than that, he's working on stuff. When you don't see Janek, he's working on stuff. Yeah, I mean, there's so much going on. So we'll keep those suggestions in the forefront. We're always looking for suggestions like that, and who knows? You might see your model on a show like this. So Janek, I mean, besides doing all of this research, working on all these models, I know you got to do some stuff on your own. You've got to do some fun stuff too. What's some things you've been working on, or what's some things that have come into the shop that kind of caught your attention?
Well, I sent you a couple of those photos, and I'm going to see if I still have them. I think I might have deleted them accidentally. But I recently had the opportunity to travel down to San Diego and run trains on the La Mesa Model Railroad Club. And as many of you know or can probably guess, things aren't quite the same there as they have been in the past. This COVID world that we live in. But that being said, and I just shared my screen, Jim, so if you want to pull that up, I still got some really good track time in. I brought some stuff down to operate, and it wasn't all Athearn stuff, so I'll come clean there. But my friend Vic was there with his Union Pacific Athearn Genesis caboose there, which he weathered up, and I just thought it looked phenomenal. So I just grabbed a quick shot of our trains passing there. This is somewhere close to Rowan, I want to say, on the layout. And I did take one more picture while I was there. And this is over at Marcel. And this is my train coming down. I did have an Atlas dash 8 in the lead, but I had 3 other units behind it, so don't worry. You know, I was representative. So yeah, and I got around twice on the layout. You know, it was an interesting experience having to wear the mask the whole time, staying away from everybody. If you guys haven't been down there recently or at all, I would definitely recommend that you go down there if you can. So, and let's see here, switching gears a little bit, switching train clubs actually. This is over at the Highland Pacific Society of Model Railroad Engineers. And this is my colleague, Jack, who shot this photo. And he's been working on some stuff. You got a Conrail SD40-2 there that he's been working on. And that second unit is really interesting. He's been working on that SD45B unit for Santa Fe. And that looks really good so far. I'm not sure if that's a resin shell or if he kit bashed it or whatnot, but I told him, hey man, I need some close-ups. So maybe we'll get some of those next week. And lastly, he also shared this with me. He's like, hey man, I'm working on this boxcar. This is the old Athearn auto parts boxcar that was really common, you know, as a kit. And everybody seemed to have some of these. And I know that the coupler design on those was less than satisfactory for a lot of people. It sort of just flopped around, and it wasn't great overall. He went ahead and replaced those coupler boxes with, I believe, a Details West cast metal coupler box, and so that's just going to look a whole lot better, and it's going to operate a whole lot better too. So if you guys have those old cars, you know, it's pretty simple. Just cut it off. Cut off the old coupler box there and attach the Details West box. If anyone wants to know what part number that is, let me know. It's a CC-1023. So there you go. And that's sort of what I was doing recently, and what Jack was doing recently as well. So, you know, we work on stuff on and off. We switch up projects a lot because I get bored easily. So I'm guilty of that. So that's all I have. So let's see what Jim's got for us.
Well, it was one other set of pictures too that you sent me. It was a Southern Pacific model. That was something that you just got in, right?
Yeah, and those are the ones that I said I think I accidentally deleted them. But if you've got
you know what? I think I've got them right here. So I'm going to get myself out of frame here, put you back, and get those pictures. That's not the way it goes, James. I'm getting out.
Well, while Jim gets back, let's see if he gets those pictures up. Thanks for the compliments on the LMX unit, guys. I can't take credit for the weathering. I actually bought it like that, and I even got lazy with the sound install. I had somebody do that one for me as well, so I'll come clean on that one. Anyways, DHL showed up at my house yesterday, and they gave me a little present here. Well, it's not really mine. It's company property, but these are the production samples of the Southern Pacific commute service GP9s in the scarlet and gray. And I'm really excited about these. You know, they've got every detail that you could possibly want with that wagon wheel antenna and the air tanks up on the roof. They got the wings on each end, which, you know, that sets them apart from anything else. You know, they were dual control units. They were run forward, backward, you know, whatever direction they needed to run. That was the direction they went. And there's another shot there that's showing the rear end details, you know, the skirts, which have been pretty much chopped all the way up. You got the light packages on each end, the gyro lights, the UDE lights on each end. You got those special passenger pilots that they had. Just a lot of really cool details on these. So thinking that they'll be in stores probably a month or two. So if you guys ordered these, be on the lookout for those coming out soon. I didn't order any for myself. I'm kind of regretting it. I might see if I can pick one up after the fact. We'll see. So
that's always the way. But that's an absolutely beautiful model.
It really is. Yeah, I mean, all those details just make it really pop.
It wasn't that long ago that all of those extra details that you're pointing out while you're talking about the model, that was stuff that we had to add on if we chose to do that. We just kind of had a generic Jeep, and we just started adding parts and touching up the paint, or in some cases just doing the whole thing from the ground up. And now this is an absolutely beautiful model. So definitely, thanks for showing that with us. That's a really nice model, and hopefully you can get some of those.
We'll see.
So I don't have any locomotives per se to show. I have been busy doing some modeling, but more on the other end, more of the Norm Abrams type, I guess you'd say. I've been spending the weekends in the garage with a table saw and some spray paint and everything else. And I have got a N scale switching layout that I'm doing, and I'm still pulling what's left of the hair that I have, trying to find a prototype to model after. So I've spent more hours than I care to admit online looking at old survey maps and Sanborn fire maps, trying to find something that would work in New England that's either going to be Maine Central or Boston to Maine, fitting in a 6-foot space. So let me get those pictures here and show you what I've been working on. It's a 6-foot by 14-inch shadow box N scale layout. And it basically, if anybody is familiar with T-Track, it's kind of like the tabletop modules. I've perverted a T-Track module or two and started laying Code 55 track on them. And this is the interior part. This is kind of a shadow box. The modules will actually seat down inside there. And you can see at this point, I've got the framework done and the fascia and the top valance finished, sanded and primed and painted, and another view there. The hole in the front for the NCE panel, and then the upper part will be left open for lighting. And
that looks really good, man.
And then let me show a quick video, just in case. And the idea here is to basically allow me to take this to shows if I want to, but present pretty well, give a good presentation of the layout. And for me, I'm lazy. I'm not good at freelancing. I'm not good at just throwing track on a table. I've got to have something to model by. So that's why I've been spending so much time looking at Sanborn fire maps and things of that nature. So
I think I see something on your screen in the background there. It looks like a track plan. So
yeah, you caught me. Yeah, this guy here, I'm using. What am I using?
Oh, Rail. I was going to say that's the one I use. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice program, and I mean, especially if you've got a layout that's only going to have a few, turnouts and stuff, especially for what I'm doing. Let me bring this video up here real quick.
I mean, even if you're freelancing, better to have a plan.
Yeah, and now I apologize. Like I said, I live in an extremely old farmhouse, so definitely no ivory castles here.
Hey,
but
it's called
yeah. But I've got wooden brackets on the wall that I made because there is no such thing as anything level in this house after 150 years. And then yeah, it's a 1x3 frame and with hardboard all the way around it, and kind of taking a kind of an English approach to American railroading. When I'm done, hopefully I'll have a nice N scale switching layout with a connection to a yard. You can kind of see behind me. This is the beginnings of a yard. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm working on. I've got that, and of course the HO scale module that I showed you guys last week. So yeah,
cool,
we're all doing something. It's probably a good thing we work for Athearn because there's a lot of train stuff in my life.
It really is. I mean, between running on layouts, building stuff, taking pictures, for some of you playing games, watching videos, there's so many aspects that you could do that are all related.
Absolutely. Well, nice stuff. I mean, glad you showed us what you've been working on. It's always good to see some layout pictures and such. It's always good to see what we're always working on. The one downside of this pandemic is, we don't have the train shows. Normally this time of year, we'd be getting ready to go to Train Fest up in Milwaukee, one of my favorite shows. And of course, that's not gonna happen. So I guess one of the advantages of this is we do seem to get a little bit more work done on our layouts, and we do get to have an opportunity to see what we're both doing and then share it all with you folks and hear from you guys. It's always good to hear from our fans that come on in. And speaking of which, why don't we bring up the rail cam, see what we're rail fanning today, and take a few Q&A. What do you think, Janet?
Works for me.
All right. Make sure
we about work though. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, it is Halloween, so all work and no play. Let's see.
Halloween's definitely different this year.
Halloween is going to be different, but I'm still dressing up. I might even dress up for the for this, for Train Tuesday. I don't know. Put in the comment section, guys. You want to see James or Janek dress up for the Tuesday Halloween edition? Let us know.
I'm going to dress up as a derailed auto rack.
That's pretty good, actually. I like that. I think that passes what I was going to dress up for Halloween. So you beat me. Hey, look, there's your inspiration right there.
Yeah. Hey.
Perfect.
Prototype for everything.
There it is. Waiting for the screen to enlarge so you all can see it. And now originally I had announced that we were going to be in California, but I was having some issues out there, so I wasn't able to share. So we went back to Kansas City. Remember a couple of weeks ago there was that derailment on the bridge?
Oh yeah.
They're still cleaning up.
Man, that was
How many weeks ago was that?
I don't even remember how long ago. It seems like it was forever.
Yeah. So let's see. There's some questions here. Let's see. Going down through. Here's one. I'm going to direct this one towards you, Janek. It's from Cyrus Gillespie. Western Wide Vision ICC cabooses to go with the GP38-2s.
I like how that's phrased. Because I haven't committed to the 38-2s yet, but I have seen quite a few requests. Ever since we did that Warehouser, I hope I'm saying it correctly, ever since we did those units, people have been coming out of the woodwork and asking for some of the other related railroads, that being one of them. So, yeah, I'd be interested.
Yeah, it'd definitely be cool.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I saw some people asking about the SD70 ACU, like Jim and I talked about. We talked about that at the beginning of the video. So if you missed that little portion, all we're really saying is we're going to have more information on the 30th of October. So if you're interested in that locomotive, check back on the 30th of October.
Yep. We will say they exist, but we will come up. We don't want to shortchange you guys. There's just tune in on the 30th at 3:30. I think you guys are going to be more than happy.
Definitely. I think I saw one that I wanted to talk about, but I think I lost it. Oh, TH&B GP9s.
Oh, I saw that comment earlier too. I was wondering if you saw that.
I've seen like 3 comments about it, some from YouTube, some from Facebook. All I'm going to say is that you guys should save up your money, and you're going to be happy come December.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean that.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about TH&B, but it seems like it's one of those roads that has a really, really big following, even though it was, not the biggest railroad out there. But the people that enjoy it, they really enjoy it. And that's great. And I love to see people get really interested in something like that and then want to help out with the research.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things. Again, we've kind of said it before. I mean, if you guys have access to, or you have detailed pictures and shots and stuff like that, don't hesitate to contact us. We're always looking for information like that. And as we're talking, I'm looking. We've got more than a few guys asking for TH&B. So it sounds like a good one to zero in on, because we're definitely getting some comments on that.
Yeah, TH&B is, and the other one that I'm interested in is the Northern Alberta Railroad. I've got quite a few requests for that one as well. So I'd like to add that one in down the line as well. And I got some great photos. So that'd be a cool one on the GP9.
Definitely. Here's one a little bit closer to my current home. Illinois Central Gulf GP38-2 with Ossetrol. So Illinois Central Gulf, I mean, I'm thinking of, help us out here. I'm thinking of at least 2 schemes that I can remember: the orange and gray, and then the orange and white, which came before that. So either one of those, which I was always a fan of those. I always thought that was a cool color scheme.
Yeah, the ICG guys seem like they're split, between those 2 schemes. They either love one or hate the other, or what. So I'm really not sure which one is more popular. I think they're both worth doing. So.
Yeah, Joel just got back to us. He's saying orange and white, which
white. Yeah, we're gonna.
I know white is not a good color in the railroad world, but man, when those Illinois Central units were cleaned and out of the shop, that orange and white just really looked nice.
It did, yeah. It was a nice looking paint scheme. GP38-2s, SD40-2s, and all the rebuilt Jeeps.
I've seen a few of these comments too. I'm going to put up Tim's. He's wanting to know, how about another run of the Katie GP38-2s? I know we did some of those a while back. What do you think, Janek? Maybe a little bit down the road?
I'd like to, and there are 3 things that I want to say about that. If there's any NKT guys listening, I want to get the green correct, and I want to get the beacons correct, and I want to do them with the simplified stripes, where they remove the stripes off of the cab roof later in life. I want to do that version. So something to think about for next time.
Yeah, another cool scheme. It's hard. Sometimes it's kind of hard to choose just one railroad. There's so many cool paint schemes from different eras on different models.
Definitely. So ever since I showed off that that Dash 8 in my consist there, people are asking us for Dash 8s. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I second that.
I think that would be a really nice Genesis 2.0 series. And yeah, so we'll see what we can do.
It's one of those things that we can, put on the list, and who knows, you'll come up here one day and see the locomotive you asked for. So we're always working on stuff behind the curtain, if you will.
I don't know if any of you guys have worked on those Atlas Dash 8s, but man, they are a bear to take apart. I usually end up breaking most of the tabs on the body whenever I get it open. So looks like we got a train.
Hey, there we go. Zoom in there a little bit for everybody to see.
What else? What else? We got a request here for a gray and orange SD20, which is an ICG rebuild, I think, right?
I'd have to look into that. It's been a while since I've been playing with Illinois Central stuff, but that might be originally delivered in the black with green diamond and then just a repaint. But I'd have to double check. I know in that era there was a lot of rebuilds going on just south of here. So
I want to say they were buying up some of those UP SD24Bs and giving them cabs and rebuilding them. I think I remember somewhere.
I think that does sound correct. Yeah, I've got some pictures somewhere of some of these locomotives, and it's just like with everything. I'm sure with you too, you've probably got amassed quite the collection of prototype books.
Yeah, I've got a fair collection, more than I should probably admit. So.
Nobody wants to help me move when it comes time to move because of all those books. Matt the Terrier says, kind of add. Whoops, that's not the one I want. You guys are commenting quickly today. Let's see, where'd he go? Matt the Terrier. Gotcha. The ST20s later went on to the C and IM and IHB and a couple other roads. That's right. I remember seeing them in that green and red. And ironically enough, my wife, her grandfather worked for that road.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Something we need to look into, I think.
So Mr. Donnell M. Wells, I think he's got a good question there at 217. Are all future / new locomotive releases going to be Genesis / Genesis 2.0? Well, there's a lot going on with that question. All future locomotive releases are not going to be Genesis or Genesis 2.0 because we still have the RTR and the roundhouse locomotives in the line right now. And, it's going to take some time before those can get upgraded or will get upgraded into a better version. Now, as far as new tooling releases, like where we start from scratch on something, 2.0. That is what we absolutely want to do. 2.0 all the way. It's been a huge success. Everybody loves all the features that they're getting with it. And honestly, that's what the market wants. That's what the competitors are doing with their stuff. So I think 2.0 is where it's at going forward.
Let's see. I just saw one, and it kind of goes in line with a picture that just got posted on Instagram. If it hasn't yet, it will be here later. How about a GP50 in whiteface, BN whiteface, of course, in prime for grime? I know where there's a prototype picture. And it's definitely primed for grime because I took it a few years ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it ain't pretty. I was on the Transcon a couple of years ago, and it was what me and my rail fan buddies out here affectionately call a trash train. It was just a little bit of everything. It was on the point, and it was actually in the scheme that you like. It was a white face, but it also had the kind of like the was it the 38-2s that we announced? It's got that variant of the white face paint scheme with the logo and spelled out on the long hood. It's kind of that deal, but man, it is weathered. If you got an Instagram account, keep an eye out for that because it's probably going to post sometime this week. Yeah, definitely would be kind of cool, and definitely with the prime for grime, especially if you do it in the picture I took. It's lettered for BNSF.
I'm going to share my screen right now, and got some good news there.
There it is.
Yeah, we actually did a couple of units. I think it was a 2016 release. So we did the 3149 there, and we also did the 3134 as prime for grime. These were some of the first prime for grimes that we ever did.
Yeah, you said 2016.
Yeah, this one's cool. I love the primer fan on that one. That's a really cool feature.
So yeah, 2016. I don't know. We might be able to offer that again in the not too distant.
It might be time to come back to that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
I saw a couple questions I wanted to. Someone, Joel, in the comments thinks that this train's going to go into the ditch. So, Joel, if that happens, we're going to give you a shout out, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be just our luck.
Wouldn't it?
Ooh, I like that MRL boxcar though.
That is cool.
Well, probably not MRL anymore. Who knows what it is? I can't even read the reporting mark.
No, it's covered.
Someone was asking for a Swift 53 container with a new logo. Yes, absolutely. That will be coming out next time. And then Mr. Dan Witten, 2:21 p.m. He says there was a demo 40-foot Z-van trailer with a reefer unit at Trainfest last year from Athern. Yes, Dan. Thank you for remembering. I remember that as well. And if you're interested in that trailer, and I know a lot of people are, then you should check back next month because you will like what we have to show.
Mm-hmm.
Athern shirts, huh?
Yeah, he said please too. So.
Well, hey man, now we have to do it. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe you know what? Maybe the train ferry will show up on the 30th and bless us with something. I don't know. We'll see.
That was a cool hopper.
Stranger things have happened.
That VT
this one's
car, that was interesting.
This one's for you, Janek.
What do we got?
We got, hey, Janek, how about a Conrail High Hood Jeep 10?
High Hood GP10. Well, I mean, I am wearing a Conrail shirt, so I have to say that we'd like to look into it. I don't remember. I know Conrail, I think they had GP8s, GP10s. I'm not terribly familiar with those units, so I got to do my homework and see what they came from.
I know about the GP10s, but in a high nose, that I don't know. Okay. Now, I would be all for it because, especially in prime for grime, because the little tiny short line that took over a portion of the White Mountain division of the Boston and Maine, where I grew up, called New England Southern. So there's a little shout out for you. Mm-hmm. They had a ex-Conrail GP10, and it was just blue, and I think it still had Conrail markings on it. This was probably in the 90s.
Oh.
And for guys that are keeping up with prototype news, the New England Southern, that little short line, they just got purchased by Vermont Rail. Let's see.
Cool.
Janek, I'm kind of looking at some of the comments, and they're saying you wouldn't be good at poker.
Well, yeah, I am not very good at poker, guys. It's true. I usually just go all in the beginning because I don't want to play. So just to make it more exciting.
If we ever get back to train shows and you want to play poker with Janek, I'm sure he'll, be more than happy to do that.
And the winner gets a free Athern t-shirt. There you go.
There you go. More Missouri Pacific, please. We haven't heard any requests for that in a while.
And look at the name, and look at the prototype picture.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's great.
That was great. That would be great.
Oh, well, yeah. Hey, what are you looking for, man?
Yeah, what kind of era?
Great cars. We like Mopac stuff. I think we just did some 38-2s recently. And we're always looking for more of that, so let us know what you're looking for.
Yeah. There's some interesting graffiti.
Oh, yeah. That's that must have taken a whole night.
Something. I mean, that from here it looks easy, but when you're standing next to one of those, it's
Yeah.
that's pretty interesting. And then you've got one that's pretty much unmolested. Now they've got a couple there. They must be brand new.
I think those are Trinity hoppers, and if they are, that's one that I want to do. So,
from here, the sun is just starting to glare on that camera, but yeah, I think you're right.
The worst possible light right now for looking at these, but it's still cool.
Yeah.
Someone had a request out there for TRRA. Yeah, that would be cool. I like that red and white paint scheme they have. And I think they got some, were they SD60Ms or SD70Ms? I don't remember if it was one of those two. But those are some sharp looking units. And you can bet we'll do those in the next run.
So this is at least that I've seen. I try to watch your comments, guys. This is at least the third that I've seen like this. I'll put it up there. Bicentennial Missouri Pacific, as well as GP18. A lot of requests for GP18s today. And I'd be all for it. I mean, kind of cool.
Maybe Boston and Maine.
Sure.
Did they have any? I say they did.
And my other railroad that I like, baby. No, they actually they had 20s.
They had the 20s. That's right. Yeah, which that's not a huge departure from a GP18. So something to think about. I know we're a little bit limited with what we can do on the GP18 right now because during the GP18 production is when they started changing the position of the air reservoirs, and they started changing the fuel tank position and some of the other things on the airframe, which we just don't have right now, but stuff we'd like to add in the future.
Here's one from Alexander.
Why
have you never done any C and EI Genesis F units? Why do you hate Chicago?
Oh, man.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's Chicago. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, we're always looking for different lines to model. That's actually a really good suggestion. Something that we'll think about because
it is.
We have done quite a bit of kind of like extremes, like East and West Coast, but yeah, maybe we need to revisit the Central Midwest a little bit more.
Yeah, and those F units, I'm sure that they had at least a couple paint schemes on them the gas delivered, and then probably they got the solid blue at some point. So let us know what you're looking for there.
Yeah, and again, if you've got pictures of stuff, I mean, you've obviously got a passion for that line, so share your passion with us so we can help you out and help fellow modelers out too, because that is a line that we seem to be getting some attention for. We've seen that a couple of times in our Train Tuesdays.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Let's see. Genesis 2.0, F45, and FP45. Yeah, okay. I like
suggestion.
I like Cal units just as much as the next guy, so that would be cool. Nathaniel Flores, SP Gons. That's funny because I just posted a picture of an SP Gon on the Freight Car Enthusiast Facebook group. I was thinking about SP Gons all day. I was like, yeah, those are kind of cool.
Got another vote for the TH&B GP9s.
Man,
Yeah,
about those things. You guys just
hot right now.
no one else has made them. I think that's part of the problem.
Let's see. Some great comments coming in today, guys. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, we usually get a lot of suggestions, but I feel like the suggestions today are stuff that we could actually do without a whole lot of trouble. You know?
Right, and I mean that's what's important. I mean, if we can help you guys out, I mean we have these meetings where it's like, man, what are we going to do? We want to get something that you guys actually want. So this is always a big help.
Definitely.
Otherwise, what? It would probably be Conrail, SP, Boston to Maine, Norfolk Southern. That'd be pretty much it.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I'm putting Glenn up on the screen. Please, more New England stuff like Boston to Maine and North Conway. North Conway is kind of cool. I've got some pictures from a couple of years ago because I'm from not too far from North Conway. Of course, don't forget where you've got the Maine Central GP7s. They're coming into stock here in the next week or two. Now, I didn't get my pre-order in. Shame on me. So hopefully I get there before all the Maine Central guys do and get my 4. But stay tuned. If you're looking for Boston to Maine stuff, before the year's over, I think you're going to be happy.
I think so too. And another comment about TH&B. Man.
Yeah, no, that's.
Oh, rerun.
That is definitely not.
Edward J. Bullman, rerun of New Haven GP9s. Yeah, that would be cool. We haven't done New Haven in a while.
No, we haven't. Pan Am Railways. Who's that?
Man, it's almost like he used to work for Pan Am or something.
Pan Am, huh? I thought they were in like airplanes and stuff.
Yeah,
he probably, the last picture I got of Deerfield, it looked more like CSX than it did Pan Am. That was just recently.
Yeah, I think they went to pretty much all GEs recently, which is...
Yeah, 6-axle too. That's going to be fun on some of those lines. Here's an interesting one. Any chance of maybe doing road railers for NS or BNSF? Wow. I can tell you, living near Decatur and seeing the Norfolk Southern road railers, and then when I was younger, seeing the Conrail version, those are definitely cool. But that's something to think.
Well, you know what? I remember seeing the Amtrak ones when I rode the Chief as a kid, and they always had a bunch of those on the rear in the early 2000s. So that was another.
I had forgotten about those. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I know years ago somebody offered those in N scale. I remember, but that was probably 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while. Oh, let's see here. Anything else that you want to talk about on that?
Yeah, let's see. You got a few. I mean, guys are here. Here's some Caboose suggestions for you. Cyrus again's got some suggestions. Denver Rio Grande Western, Cotton Belt, MKT, and the ICC Wide Vision Cabooses.
Okay. Yeah, from what I've been told, the DRGW is pretty close to the Santa Fe as far as the detail. And I haven't looked at the NKT or the Cotton Belt, but at a glance, they look like they are similar as well. So something that we could look into for next time.
Definitely.
Someone's asking where I got my shirt. I was just Googling train shirts, and it came up with this hobby shop, same place I got the shirt from last week. And I was looking for something, that was kind of understated in a little bit, something I could actually wear in public. So this one was a good choice. I don't remember the name of the store though.
Yeah, I mean, same with mine. It's one of the bigger. I believe it. I don't want to say and not give the gentleman credit. So I'll have to dig that up and see who it is. But I've got a Boston and Maine. These are like baseball type shirts, kind of retro. And he does them in Penn Central and Conrail and all those. And I'll see if I can dig up some information on them because they are kind of nice this time of year when it's not really hot, but not cold either. It's like kind of an in-between shirt. Did see a couple of suggestions for like maintenance away trucks. I know we've got some tooling for Ford. Maybe something we can look into in the future, but kind of like your standard road railer type truck. A couple of requests for that.
Yeah, no, that would be cool. Some like a pickup truck. We have a Ford license. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know what those companies, if they usually use a certain make. I've seen. I know
here. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Janet.
Oh no, go ahead.
I know here in Illinois, CNIC, they use predominantly Ford F-Series, 650 and higher. And even the vans, they use the transit vans for crews. But it generally probably goes based on the railroad. Even out here in Galesburg area, BNSF has Ford. But I think it's kind of like, police departments and stuff. They put in a bid. That's why in the 80s, I remember seeing a lot of Chevrolet stuff. And like in the 70s, Boston and Maine had a contract with International Harvester. And believe it or not, they made pickup trucks at one time.
Yeah, and the interesting one that I know about is that Rio Grande used Ford Broncos for a while. Sort of.
Oh, that's cool.
They would send them out ahead of their trains to scope out the track and make sure that everything was okay for the passage of a train. So that was pretty cool.
That is cool.
Well, it's getting to be around
about 4:38. Yeah.
We'll take one more and call it an afternoon.
Yeah, let's pick out one good comment that we can read and answer, and then we're going to call it a day. We'll pull the pin on this. And
it was Western Pacific. It wasn't Rio Grande. Yeah, it was Western Pacific with the Broncos. I'm sorry, Joel.
Oh, okay. Well, that would make sense, though, too. So definitely.
Yeah. I was in the neighborhood.
Let me see. Trying to find a good one to end the day with. You guys stop commenting.
Well, James Hawkins wants a green Uniglory 20-foot and 40-foot containers.
Oh, okay.
Why not?
Looks like he's been looking for them pretty hard.
Yeah, man. Last time I saw you, James, your eyes were a lot smaller. I hope everything's okay.
Well, we know his models are extremely detailed because he's got great eyesight. So
smaller models need bigger eyes, right?
Exactly. Well, another great show. Once again, not possible without everybody out there talking to us and sharing this great hobby together. Thanks for coming on board and seeing what we've got to offer. I know I appreciate it. Janek appreciates it. We all appreciate your comments and purchasing our products. And, you know, we're all in this together. This is a great hobby. So I'm going to go ahead and call this one good. We will be back next Tuesday, same time. And we've got a treat for you. We're going to kind of do a little bit of time travel. You got a DeLorean, Janek?
I wish.
We're going to do a little bit of historical archival. If you're into the history type stuff, I'm going to have Tony Cook with us next week, and we're going to be talking about some early Athearn stuff that coincides with what we're releasing for this October. So something to look forward to next week. Again, we try to look at all your comments and your questions. We try to get back to you as soon as we can. So we appreciate your patience. Until next time, I hope all of you guys stay happy, stay healthy. And until next time, high greens, everybody.
See y'all later.